Namaskar friends, this is NJ, your host on this channel. In this video, we will take up a case study of a politician, of a person who is right now very much in news, not only in the Indian national media, but in the international media as well. So here I'm talking about one of the province in India, the capital city, New Delhi. New Delhi's Chief Minister, Arvind Kejriwal. So guys, definitely if you are an astrology enthusiast, these are certain lives, these are certain charts which always intrigues people, and you will definitely get lot of the learning from these charts. Like the way guys, you take up the case of Donald Trump as well. There was a time when the whole Capitol incident happened, and when Joe Biden came and presided over the US presidential seat, there were like horde of the celebrities who were celebrating, who just wanted Donald Trump out. And even after all those incidents, the way the news is coming, he's still coming out strong. So these kind of lives, these kind of people, their astrological planetary alignments, understanding their personality and the running time period, what actually empowers them, all of that becomes very important if you actually consider yourself as a serious astrology enthusiast or astrology student. Again guys, the expertise does not even lie in predicting events beforehand. Definitely if you can do that with the passage of time because of some divine blessings, grace, or whether with your hard work and study and research, that is definitely a very commendable thing. But even if you can perfectly align someone's life, that what happened, why it happened, what led to what, so and matching it perfectly with the astrology and the time periods, then also you are headed in the right direction in the attainment of the astrological knowledge. So guys, for all those people, first of all I want to make it very clear, in this video I will be briefly talking about a person, and I do not have any leaning towards any political party in this video, so I'm not going to be biased. It's just an informational video which is being used as an astrology case study. Second thing is that when we talk about the birth details, so definitely the ascendant chart which I'm going to be presenting in front of you, it is doing rounds in majority of the astrology circles, but definitely because I have my loyalty with the Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan and very renowned astrologer from Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan only, VP Goel sir. He in one of his video, he shared the birth details which I will be using in this video. So yes guys, and one more thing, over here I'm not catering majorly to the Indian people who already know about him, because then I need to go into the whole layers of the biography which will lead to lot many discussion and argument. For all those people who do not know anything about this person, I will just give you a brief idea, insight about his life journey, and then we will try to see that with his astrological chart as well. So guys, this person Arvind Kejriwal, definitely he was from a very educated background, because when we talk about people who are born in the 60s and 50s in India, lot many people also argue over there that how can you be so sure that the birth time and the date of birth is accurate, because in the older times in the villages and all, people used to roughly calculate the date of birth. Oh, I just knew that I was born when there was a flood in the city, in the village, and it was a time of the new moon 2 days before and after. So that is the case in the countryside. But when we talk about someone who comes from a very educated background, I guess even his father was a engineer, he was also very educated, so that in itself means that chances of date of birth to be accurate, the possibility of that is very strong. So yes, coming from a very educated background, he by himself cracked some of the very toughest competition in India. He did his engineering, mechanical engineering from IIT Kharagpur. After that, he also cleared the one of the toughest exam in India, UPSC Civil Services exam, and he joined the revenue services, and he actually stayed in the position of a income tax commissioner officer for a duration of the time as well. Now the good thing or the distinctive part about the personality of this person was that he had this activist mindset right from the early days of his career, that at one stage he even quit his job, he formed a NGO, and he used to address the public grievances, and people with all the social welfare causes, problems and all, they used to come to him. So initially it all started with starting to work as an activist, then he formed his NGO, and then there was a time when the incumbent government was very much involved with the heavy corruption charges. So, and the public did not have any second alternative. So apart from the BJP and Congress, two most important national political parties, public did not have much of the option, and overwhelmed by the corruption charges with the incumbent government, this guy came up with an alternative as a option for the public. So there was this India against corruption movement which happened, and there were many people, prominent people with a very exemplary background. They also come together for this this drive, and later on one thing led to another. He formed his political party and he came with majority. So this is what we need to know about this life. Certain distinctive things which you need to know if you are completely blank about the life of this person, that somehow is the central umbrella campaign theme of his life, of his political career throughout has been of we are honest and we are against corruption, try us, we will give you a alternative. Second thing is that throughout in his political journey, when he was slowly gradually ascending or in his ascension towards that political position and throne. Now guys, before we will shift to his astrological chart, one very distinctive thing about his rise to the political circles was that when he was actually fighting and striving hard to be in the public's eye, in the limelight, he was accusing all the politicians of the corruption charges. He did not leave anyone, and he used to come up on the stage with all the list of the charges which he had accounted, which he had the proof about those politicians. So being very critical and having this mindset, very crusader mindset to expose people, this is what led him. And definitely even when he was elected as the chief minister very first time, so he actually formed a coalition government. Because of some issues he resigned, and everyone was like finding him imbecile to take that decision. But to everyone's surprise, this time he came with complete majority. Out of the 70 assembly seats, he came with winning more than 67 seats. So this is the kind of confidence he had, and in his political journey many people joined and they left him. Now guys, the main part is that why he is in the news. So someone who was being in the in his political journey has claimed himself to be the strongest and the honest contender. He has been accused of some alcohol liquor scam charges against his political party, and majority of his members of his political party, who were some of them were already in our top positions, they all have been put behind the bars, and he has also been sentenced last week only. So it's like he is still undergoing trial, but he has been behind the bars, which came in the news today only. So now after knowing all of that, now this chart is special. So guys, now we will shift our discussion to understanding his life events and matching it with his astrological chart. I'm very much sure the details on which we will be working are authentic. So guys, first of all, any analysis first starts with looking at the Panchang. So he is born on a Krishna Ashtami, so like a waning phase of the moon and the 8th day of it. I recently posted a video on the 22 signs which makes a kundli or a chart weak or prone towards struggle. So Ashtami is not considered as very good for someone to be born on. Second thing is that his moon nakshatra is Kritika. Kritika tend to remain very critical with their words, with their speech, always exposing people, and all those sort of very sensationalized journalism is something which is the forte or the domain of the Kritika nakshatra. He is born on a Friday, on a Shukrawar, a day being ruled by the planet Venus. Definitely Venus has to be in a strengthened state to enjoy any position, power, comfortable seat. And guys, his Yog and Karan is Dhruv and Balav, which is not posing or presenting much problem over here. Now let's shift our attention to his ascendant chart. So guys, he's born with the Leo Lagna. So definitely when we talk about people who are in any leadership role, or your capacity to rise to a position of power where whole power concentrates around you, or your capacity to manage or built something. So Leo natives tend to have that innate talents for that. And guys, whenever you have more than 2 or 3 planets being placed right over there in your first house, that somehow actually makes you very individualistic. So you have like a lot many people in his political party by itself claims him to be like running party like a dictator. So when you have these kind of planets being placed right over there in your first house, somehow they helps you over there. Now guys, in majority of his political journey especially, that happened in the Mahadasha of the planet Jupiter. Jupiter is definitely his 5th house lord, and it definitely helped him over there. In a way, we can say this thing that the luck or destiny actually helped him, because the way his political journey has been and the kind of ups and downs and the opposition and the resistance he faced, unless and until luck is not supporting you, you could not withstand that. So Jupiter's Dasha actually helped him. Now guys, like the way I was mentioning this thing, that people who have like these kind of personality, they are all the time accusing someone, or your capacity to expose and be very credible with your claims. Generally, it happens with the support of either you need to have Kritika influence, which is getting valid in his case, or Ketu in the 2nd house actually helps you over there. So both Ketu in the 2nd of your speech and Moon Nakshatra being Kritika makes you very critical with the use of your words. It might come across as very harsh. Again guys, everything comes down to that initially everyone had this impression that the person is telling the truth. Truth is a lot many times is harsh as well, which we can see in this alignment with Ketu's placement in the 2nd house. Now guys, like the way during this whole discussion we forgot to look at where the ascendant lord has gone, where the ascendant lord is placed, because somehow your whole focus and attention in the life goes in the signification of that house. So guys, in his case, his ascendant lord sun is placed in the 12th house and it is conjunct with Mars over there. So again guys, when we talk about any of the imprisonment yoga, now this is one thing which you have to understand, that okay, if I were to ask you what all are the houses which can give you throne, position or power, so angular houses becomes very important over there, like your 4th house public, 5th house, your 7th house, 10th house, 11th house becomes important. Now when we talk about the planets which becomes important, Saturn becomes important, Rahu becomes important. Now you look at his chart, they do not seem to be in a dignified state. And moreover guys, when we talk about the imprisonment yoga, so in his case, his ascendant lord in itself has gone to the 12th house and it is conjunct with Mars over there. And even if you will look at the degrees of the sun as well, it is in a very deeper Gandhant degree. A lot many times what people do is that they even take like from far behind the Gandhanta zone, those degree as well to be a qualified Gandamul problem area or problem zone. But for that to happen in a very precise way, it has to be very close to that knot. So in his case, his ascendant lord sun being of 29 degrees in the 12th house definitely posing that threat. Second thing is that guys, even if you will look at his like 9th house, now coming to the 9th house. So guys, understand this thing, that whenever these kind of things has to happen, in those kind of situation and circumstances, your ascendant lord and your moon individually needs to be studied. And in his case, because ascendant lord is sun in itself, so both the luminaries are somehow in the scrutiny. So if you will look at the moon, it is conjunct with a debilitated Saturn over there in the 9th house. So in itself means that till the time the Jupiter Dasha was on, luck might have favored him, supported him. But once the Saturn time period is going to be active on him, you know this thing that Saturn does not believe in the lucky break or leap of faith or something. It always does the justice. Second thing is that because ascendant lord in itself has gone to the 12th house, so vulnerability and the threat looms over there. Again guys, the video started with me giving you the reference of the Donald Trump, but in his case his ascendant in itself is strengthened. If your ascendant lord in itself is weak, and understand this thing, how can you be a politician, a lasting politician? Here I'm talking about now people are going to say that like, how can you say that he did not have a yoga? Because he ended up having 2 or 3 tenure as sitting on the top position in the capital of India, in New Delhi, sitting there as a chief minister. So guys, again, see, what matters most is, because we are living in a time period and day and age of the social media, that it is very easy these days to get that fame and be in the limelight. But definitely we are living in the age of the Rahu and all, but ultimately eventually what you ended up, what legacy you left, that also becomes equally important. So here I'm not saying, or here I'm not giving any predictions or any verdict. I'm just telling you about that, how sensitive this chart is. Unless and until you might have very strong planets, 10th house lord well placed, 5th house lord well placed and all, but ultimately eventually you are born on a Ashtami, your ascendant lord is in the Gandanta, in the 12th house of imprisonment, and two significator of the politics, Saturn and Rahu, they both are weak. Now guys, in his case the only concern happened because based on this chart, he actually gone through his Rahu Ketu return as well. So as you can see that Rahu Ketu actually got activated. Rahu, because right now Rahu is transiting in the Pisces, Ketu is transiting in the Virgo. So Rahu Ketu axis got activated. And again guys, like the way lot many people say this thing, that those who are born with a Kal Sarp Yoga, they have a very extreme life. You can fairly see this in his case as well. Taking those extreme steps and those extreme fluctuation in your fortune, we can definitely see over here. Now guys, like the way I was talking about that, why, and the most important thing is about timing, which in astrology gets calculated through the Dasha. Now this is one thing which is going to suddenly give you that, raised hackles, or it's going to, kind of give you those goosebumps, that how beautifully astrology, how precisely astrology works. This is the year being ruled by the planet Saturn. You make a sum total of the 2024, you will get the number 8 as the resulting number. That also tells about that Saturn is strengthened. Justice is going to be delivered this year for sure. And here there is no not much of the proof, because the way all the revelation is coming in the news and all, and the enforcement department and all, the way on the charges, the grave charges on which he has been arrested, charges seems to be already proven. Like the verdict still has to come, but it looms more on towards, the possibility stands more on that he is going to be proven guilty only. Now guys, now at this stage we will look at the Dasha. So his Jupiter Mahadasha got over on 29th March 2024, and his Saturn Dasha started. And see how Saturn delivered justice. The minute Saturn Dasha started, how a very smoothly running political party in a span of time. I would say this thing, that over here you cannot even blame only the Saturn. Not blame, like you cannot give credit to Saturn only. I guess by the time his Rahu Ketu return happened, the cycle, the karmic cycle had already started working. It's just like that everything was getting awaited for Saturn to get activated. So Saturn Dasha started, and what it led to, that is all there in front of us. Second thing is that guys, even if you will look at his Navamsha chart over there as well, even in the D9 chart, see on one chart, Moon was conjunct, in the Lagan chart, Moon was conjunct with a debilitated Saturn. In the D9 chart, the 4th house, which is given as utmost importance of the domain of the public, Moon was conjunct with Rahu. And over and above that, Saturn is Vargotam, but it is still debilitated. And guys, lastly, even if you look at the Dashamsha chart, and when we talk about these kind of personalities, specifically in their case, looking at divisional chart becomes very, very important. If you have done something which is out of extraordinary, out of the ordinary, then the Shamsha chart will definitely give you the answers for that. So guys, if you look at the D10 chart over here, you can definitely see again the lord of the D10 becomes the it becomes the Kumbh Lagna in the Varga chart, D10 chart, and the lord of that Saturn is debilitated in the 3rd house. You look individually, the state and condition of the Jupiter, it is also there in the 12th house. Saturn has got a rulership of that house. And if you will look at other planets like Mars and the axis of Rahu and Ketu, they are also not seems to be very supportive, very favorable. So yes guys, this is how we can see that when we talk about certain things which happen in the life of people, definitely I somehow see, I will not say that symmetry between his chart, his life, but yes, in Indian political history, this sort of upheaval and drama happened after a long time. And I guess this is something similar which is happening in the US right now as well. Like, it's not about whether you like they're like certain personalities. It's not about whether you like them or you do not like them. There's one thing which personalities like Donald Trump represent is whether you like them or not, but you cannot ignore them. So this is what the energy and power of the planets is. And specifically guys, when we talk about the power and the greatness of the planet Saturn, it can actually destroy or ruin big empires in just one strike. And the example of that we can see over here as well, because lot many renowned and prominent astrologers only worked on the time of birth and they came up with these details. And as you can see that Saturn Dasha starting and immediate after that what it led to. So yes guys, this was just a basic overview. I'm sure that if I will get deeper into it, if I'll put other Char Dasha, Yogini Dasha, other divisional chart, degrees, I will come up with much more. But I guess whatever is happening right now, looking at the chart superficially, matching it with the Dasha, we can definitely see the whole symmetry over there. So yes guys, this is something which I wanted to say as a part of my inputs. For further more updates and notifications on the divine science of Vedic astrology, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and follow me on my Instagram account. Dhanyavad.